Alrighty, hey guys, happy Wednesday to you. Really concentrated on two areas that a little bit nervous about and we need a lot of work on, especially versus this team, is one, the pass rush that we're going to experience in this game, especially on third down. You look at this defensive line and watching the tape, and you're looking at a bunch that's got 27 sacks on the year. They're second in our conference. And watching the tape, these big kids are not only athletic, but they get really great push. And then they got two edge players that can come off and really force the quarterback up into the pocket, into those into that push. So we worked a lot on that today, as well as when you're playing a ball control offense, and you know that you're going to have limited possessions. You know, Washington averages only 65 plays a game. Third downs are going to be key. And you look at this team, and you look at a defense that is averaging, I think it's 29.6 efficiency on third down, which is incredible. I mean, that's an unbelievable number. And then you got an offense averaging around 48%. I think that's 1 and 2 in our league right now. So they're not only holding on to the ball with that ball control offense, they're getting their defense off the field. So we put a lot of concerted effort into that today. Injury-wise, Stevie really got to move around today and looked pretty good. That PRP injection, I thought, really helped him. He's progressing nicely. Looks like he's showing signs of life, and I wouldn't be surprised if he plays in this game. Biggie practiced today, looked good. I'm hoping that we have him for Saturday. Lockett's hip is still out. I would say that this game's probably not going to take for him. And then Justin and Said both practiced today and both looked good. The ankles both held up and experienced no pain, so that's good news. We'll continue to progress and we'll see where we are by game time, but for them to be out here and looking like they did is good news for us. And then Damien, we drained a cyst off the back of his knee with some fluid in it, which relieved a lot of the pain that he was experiencing, and he got to move around today. I would expect him back at full practice tomorrow. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have. Y'all ready to go to Washington?
How prepared would Josh Patu be to be, every down player in the game?
Yeah, I think he's ready for that. I mean, you've seen what we've done with these no huddle offenses. Him and Stevie have been rolling and splitting time. It's been really valuable reps and valuable experience for him, and he's been playing really, really well. So, if something was to happen to Stevie where he couldn't play, we really feel Josh can move in there, as well as an opportunity for Jacob Daniels. The big man's been practicing well and would have an opportunity to get some quality reps in the game.
Would this be a situation where, because of the knee, Stevie would be on a pitch count, I guess, so to speak? If he was
I think he's in a situation. It's a lower rep game. 65 plays they're averaging. I think it's going to be more how he's feeling. He's a warrior. He told me when he walked off the field that he was going to play in the game after the game. So he's one of those guys that has a high pain threshold and is ready to go. And I think it'll be just how he's feeling.
Is there a particular challenge to go from playing Oregon, which runs the William play the game, to Washington, which doesn't run as much?
Yeah. Two things that looks at that I see from Washington. I think I said it yesterday. Was one is the balance. We've been playing really good run football teams like Arizona and Oregon, good pass teams like Cal. So you knew what the strength was. This one really leans on both. It's the most balanced team that we've played. You look up and they're 231 yards rushing, 268 passing, and they're able to lean on a run game, maybe when the quarterback's off. You saw Jake just a hair off in the Utah game. And what did they do in the second half? They pounded the ball. They took the pressure off the quarterback and were able to run it against a really stingy Utah defense. The other thing that I see is anytime that you're playing a ball control offense, you better play clean football, because you're going to have few possessions in the game. If you're not good on third down, if you have penalties, you turn it over, you're going to set yourself back against an offense that averages 48 points off 65 plays. You're just not going to be able to catch up. So those are my worries right now, is just playing one really clean football, and then the third down.
You mentioned balance a lot as a metric that you look at for your own offense. Is this kind of a model of what you want? If the run doesn't work in the pass, is that what you're aiming toward?
Yeah, it's two really similar teams. You look at us, I think, we're 211 right now, I think, running the ball, and have been throwing the ball exceptionally well over the last 5 games. So we rely on the run setting up the pass. It's giving us the one-on-one matchups that we need to push the ball down the field. So you got 2 teams that kind of are very similar. You know, we scout Washington and for other opponents. You know, we look at their offense to be able to look at what they're doing against other defenses, because formationally, personnel, we're so similar.
You mentioned when you talk about Clancy, him taking away the strength of an offense. Is it hard this week to decide what the strength is for Washington?
Yeah, well, it is hard because they've got both. I mean, you look outside, you got Ross, and he's running past everybody. If you try to play man coverage, and then you try to double them up, and then they're handing the ball off for a bunch of yardage. So, you know, Clancy's, not to give away the game plan, I really like what he's getting ready to do in this game, and he's identified, you know, exactly what he feels the strength is, and we'll see how it goes.
Has your game with them a year ago been of any value for you guys in terms of film?
Yeah, I think one, personnel wise, because you don't play this team in 2 years, and then you come back, you jump back into it, and you realize that Buda Baker's a hell of a player, that the offensive line is extremely solid. Last year you could see Jake Brown, and you were like, okay, this kid's going to really be good when he matures. So personnel wise, it helps you a bunch. You know, scheme wise, it does too. You know, they are what they are. You know, they don't try to trick you. They're going to line up and play defense. They got about 5 or 6 calls in the game that they're going to play, and then offensively, you know, they're simple Simon also. They're going to bring 5 or 6 runs to the park. You know, they only pass the ball 25 times, so there's not a ton of concepts that come out of it, and you know, they just line up and play good, sound football, and that's the mark of a Chris Peterson team.
How have you seen the defensive line grow as they were playing together as a unit?
Oh man, when I think about the last 5 weeks, and I think everybody's felt it, is just the pressure that they're putting. They feel like they're playing in the other team's backfield, and that's what you really hope when we got to being able to play some nickel defenses, and you're seeing these kids on edges. You see how we're built. You know, Clancy's defense is kind of perfect for what we are. Think of Rasheem Green. You know, what is he? Unbelievable athlete that when you put him on the edge of an offensive lineman, he uses his athleticism to penetrate and get in the backfield. You know, so we have those type of athletes at Port Augusta and Chenna that they use true speed to get off the ball, and that's how we're built. And I think Clancy's system is perfect for them. They've really come together as a unit, and like I said earlier, it's a big man's game, and the offensive line and defensive line have led us these past 5 games.
Clay, I know you guys jumped into the college football poll. But it's been kind of a different year for schools in California because they haven't really had a presence in the polls. What do you kind of make of that, or how do you think that situation kind of came to be?
Well, you know, we've kind of beat up on each other in the Pac-12, and we got off to a rough start. We're 1-2, and then go to Utah, you lose a close game, and you're 1-3, and we've had to climb out of this hole, you know, and kind of been playing playoff football. And you look around, and that's what the Pac-12 does. It's such elite talent. I was talking about this on a radio show today about all the quarterbacks are out there, all the skill that's out there, and if you don't bring your A game, you're going to get beat. You know, that's just a fact of the matter in this league. And you know, so we beat up on each other, and all of a sudden you fall out of the top 25. We've won 5 in a row, and now we're number 20.
What do you think about the fact, I mean, you guys beat up on each other. I think that happens in other conferences, but sometimes in the Pac-12 it seems like you beat up on each other and you fall out instead of maybe just falling a couple spots.
That's not our job. We don't vote. Our job is to be able to focus on exactly what we have to do. You know, you earn respect